Cause I got little cars too, like like you know what I mean. My son, my son play around. He like in the streets and like you know what I mean. So he like that. People saying you got $1 million, we rich. Like you know what I mean. People saying that.
Okay. I'm on my way to go interview Harry Bell. You know what I'm saying? I'm on my way to the terrace. A Southside baby going to the terrace. You know? Going to interview Harry Bell. You know what I mean? Tag along with me, y'all. Let's see what the man got to say. First of all, this your boy Gloves Off. On Gloves Off, we don't sugarcoat, beat around the bush, or bite our tongue. I have the pleasure to sit here with Harry Bell, from Bridgeport, Connecticut. He's going to elaborate on who he is, where he come from, and who he is today. And we're going to have a little talk, so tune in. So first of all, obviously I said your name is Harry Bell, but tell me a little history about you.
So, I'm your average Joe, man. I'm from Bridgeport, Trumbull Gardens to be a fact. Okay. Born and raised here, seen it all, been through it all. And, what I seen and been through led me to the person I am today.
So how did some people don't know who you are today. So, so let's rewind a little bit. Okay, so how did you get to the point of who you are today? What trials and tribulations did you go through as younger so we could lead to today?
Well, mom's on drugs, being adopted. She died young.
Okay.
I was young as well. My mom died at 29.
Wow. That's real young.
Yeah. She died of AIDS. Okay. I think I was about like maybe 12 or a little younger probably. Okay. I was raised by my aunt, who I call my mom. I grew up in the 80s where crack really was heavy. Yes. My mom was addicted to drugs, left me in the hospital. I had to stay in the hospital. I was considered a crack baby. So I had to stay in the hospital for a couple of days, just dealing with, that type of situation and coming from an urban area. It's just been through a lot. And I just had to grind and not let some of my trials and tribulations stop me from becoming what I believe, what I call myself today, a success story. Okay. And I believe success is not, about money or anything to that nature. It's about how a person feel and how they feel from where they started out and where they are at today.
Okay, that's a fact. That is a fact, is how you define success. That's a fact. So, like you said, you was brought up in Bridgeport, you know what I mean? For those that don't know, he's referring to the north end of Bridgeport when he say Trumbull Gardens and stuff like that. So on the north end, childhood-wise, were you subjected, you mentioned the drugs in the 80s and stuff of that sort. So was you subjected to like incarceration, all the other street stuff that goes on, shootings, violence and stuff like that? Or it was like you lived in the hood, but you wasn't Technically, you know how some people live in the hood, but they just wasn't subjected to
it? All my friends either dead or in jail. I was in the mix, but I believe I had a calling on my life. I come from like a praying grandmother. You know them praying grandmothers?
Yes.
You know,
like
I remember getting in the stuff and leaving, and soon I leaves, they say, "Yo, the cops came." Like, you know what I mean? I remember soon I'm leaving, they just roll by, start shooting. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't a hyped up dude, but I had to be with the crew until I realized I had to do something else because I was going to end up dead or in jail. But, you know...
what got you into doing nonprofits and just anything political, period? What made you, like, literally say, all right, screw it, I'm going to dive in? Like, how old was you then?
I started my program. My son right now is probably like, I think my son 20.
Okay.
So I've been doing like nonprofit work with the youth ever since I was like 16. I started off with weight off, coaching, bringing kids to little crazy, little simple stuff. Taking them to Captain Pizza, going to Beardsley Park, going on nature walks, skipping rocks in the water. You know what I mean? Coaching, things to that nature. Like, you know what I mean? So it always was in me. But I think it really took off for me seriously when my son probably was like 7.
Okay.
You know, or maybe a little younger. I was addicted to alcohol. I was drinking. I used to do little dumb stuff, man. You know, stuff that could cause me to, you know, end up dead, killing somebody, or someone killing me, or in jail. Like, you know. So I think when my son was probably like 5, I got drunk and fell out with him. And I woke up with him smacking me in the face, saying, "Get up," you know, and I was bloody. I was just drunk, you know, and that day right there, like, really changed.
Woke you up.
Yeah, like, you know, I gotta live.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That will wake you up.
Yeah.
That will wake you up.
Yeah.
Especially men that love their kids.
Yeah.
That will wake you up. So I have a question that it might be a little Philly feel, but I have to be raw, straightforward, uncut. Everybody looks at you as a North End nonprofit politician. What's your response to that? Because I've known you for being on the North End, but I also, of course, seen you in other atmospheres around Bridgeport and all that. But my thing is, when they reference Harry Bell, they reference him to the North End. Yeah. So what do you have to say to everyone pertaining to that?
I can see that. Like, I hear that, but you got to understand, you know, my home base is the North End, but people don't know I started out on the West End. I used to be the guard at Cariel, so I started out for 8 years on the West End. They wouldn't let me really get my spot in the tiers. There was a lot of political stuff, so I used to do like programs on my patio. But it really blown up with like maybe like 30 kids from the West End that be in the Greens now, that just be all on Popular and things of that nature. But we probably service maybe 70 kids daily. And if I say 70 kids daily, yes, the bulk of it is going to be the North End because they walk here. Like, you know what I mean? But if you seen when you came in, I got a girls group. I got girls from different sides of town coming because it's a little different for girls. Girls are come. They not like, you know what I mean? Yeah, but I do open it up for young men all around, and ones who are not in the beefing and stuff like that come.
Okay.
But I can see why people will assume that due to the fact that this is my home base. Like, there are many times I advocated to literally get a bigger spot or partner with other organizations on different sides of town. So it don't look like that. But at the end of the day, you know, I come from that old saying, like, you know what I mean? You know, clean your house before you try to clean anybody else's house. Okay. So, you know, so at the end of the day, you know, I have to start where, you know, where I have access to the most. And be it, I have access on Trumbull Gardens.
Yes, I have to admit, but you saying that just put a light bulb in my head. Because prior to me having this conversation with you, like I said, I knew you for over 20 plus years. But first of all, let me just say I'm proud of what you're doing. A part of me was offended, at first, because I'm like, damn, why everybody, every time they speak, they say Harry Bell, North End, North End. I'm like, the North End, it just ain't, Bridgeport ain't just the North End. You know what I'm saying? And then by you speaking, and I'm like, okay, well, I wasn't here. I was incarcerated for certain stuff. And I had told somebody I was about to interview you. And a gentleman, I wish I would have had him recorded because I wanted it genuine when he said it. And he said that to me. He said, man, a lot of people see Harry Bell for who he is today. But Harry Bell used to run around with us like over 10, 15 years ago. He used to pass out flyers, walk up and down the streets. He did the footstep. Of course, we don't see it. I'm home now. I see it now. Yeah. But then I didn't see it. Yeah. So I'm like, at first when they was like, oh, they gave him this money. What is he going to do with it? You know how many people call me and ask me like if I knew what you was going to do with the money? But I'm like,
I would love to answer that question.
Oh, answer it.
I'm not sure. I don't know if you are referring to grant money that I get or the $1.5 million that was allocated.
The $1.5 million that was, so the $1.5 million was allocated to Trumbull Gardens?
Yeah.
Not to Harry Bell?
No.
Oh, everybody is indicating that it went straight to you.
I wish it did.
Me too.
Yeah. But let's keep that in fruition because you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I pray one day that Color of Positive Thought will bring $1 million back to the community, not $1 million that goes to someone else. I'm talking about that's directly facts. I have control of.
Yes, facts. Okay, so
like other organizations
what did they
as well.
That you would have to do with the money or contingent upon the money.
So everybody, because I got a little cause too, like you know what I mean. My son play around. He like in the streets and like you know what I mean. So he like that. People saying you got $1 million, we rich. Like you know what I mean. People saying that, but if people really did the research, which I would, and I'm like that too. That's like if someone say someone from the South End, Marina just got $1 million and you do a lot of stuff in Marina and you're the face of it, I'm gonna think you got it. I'm not gonna read the fine line. So actually the housing authority got it. So how that work is, I'm a big part of why they was able to go to Hartford and act for this type of bonding money for this community center because of all the work I was doing.
Absolutely.
So put it like this: you Fred G is the one who went up there, who was our state representative.
Yes.
Fred G. So let's for instance, you're Fred G, right? You see the work that I'm doing, and this money was already probably allocated years ago, but they didn't have people doing what they supposed to do. So people probably wouldn't even have trust individuals to get it. Like, you know what I mean? So they like, I think I made it easy because, all the work I've been doing in this center and stuff like that made national news and stuff like that. So it made, if you was Fred G, it made it easy for you to go up there and ask for $1.5 million that was already bonded for this community that never been used to partner with the housing. So the housing authority got that. Okay. I was just like part of a small part or maybe a big part, what others may say, of why it was easy to get because of my relationships with Democrats, Republicans, but more so Democrats. But the work that I put in so they could even look at it and be like, you know what? He is doing something. He serviced, like when you came in, you seen about 50 kids, 60 kids. I serviced the kids. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? So it made it easy. So none of the money goes to Color of Positive Thought. Okay. All the money goes to actually that field that you see out there that need rent. That field haven't been touched in almost 40 years. And this community center that haven't been touched in 20 years. We're actually, the crazy thing is that we actually short. We're actually short because to repurpose that field alone, if you look at all the other sides, the towns that have decent turf fields and stuff like that. That got like the one over there at Louis Marin, they got the turf. Other ones that the one over there by on the south end, that Roosevelt got the turf. Them are like $800,000 to do.
For real?
Yeah, $500,000 to $800,000. So you got to understand. Nice, so you have to understand. $1.5 million to do that and renovate this community center. That at the end of the day, who gonna do it? The community? No. You gotta hire people. So you gotta hire them. So then you gotta get it done. So we're kind of short on what actually need to be done, because again, this center was done, if I'm not mistaken, in 1999, and not a splat bit of paint been put ever since. No upgrades. If you could look, when you get a chance, you can look at the old computers. I'm making this work on a shoestring budget. I'm talking about I use the fund that I get from the city and the fund that I get from the state. People think I get millions of dollars, bro. I really don't.
Yeah.
I really don't. If people really want to know my budget, because you got to file your taxes, you're a nonprofit. True. You would see my highest gross in a year is probably under $300K. We might look at it like, oh, that's a lot, but
no. But when you're doing
when you're doing things like, you got to pay rent, you got to pay people to come do programs and things like that. That's nothing, especially compared to other organizations that get millions of dollars and probably don't do half of what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. See what it is. I think where people go wrong at, people are not used to seeing people that look like us bringing them opportunities to the community, right? So if it was and no disrespect to our Caucasian brothers and sisters, I think people would have took it different if there was a Caucasian guy in front of the community center and saying, "Look what I did," but they can't understand. They can't fathom that a person like me that they went to school with, that's their peer that they could talk to, come see me out on the street, is able to do that. Because you know what I'm saying, we a lot of us are not used to understanding that we can do this.
Yeah, I'm starting to learn that now. That's what made me reach out to even you and other entities. I'm like, these brothers came from the same form of walk of life as me and all that. And if they could do it, I know I can do it.
Yeah. So basically, I think I'm just like a vessel from God or Allah, whoever religion you want to support. Yeah. I'm just like a messenger for them to let you know that someone that look like you can do it.
That's
I like and like I said, I think people and myself, we're not used to that. Yeah. We're not used to that seeing. We're not used to seeing someone that you like. At the end of the day, you grew up with me, basically.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I think we was in Sheridan running around. If I'm not mistaken,
well,
like, you know what I mean?
30 years.
Yeah. So I remember when COVID hit, and the high school kids was shut down. Football was shut down. They couldn't play football. Yes. I got so many calls, right, from young men saying, "Oh man, I can't." I was looking at football, getting scouted to a D2, D3 college to help me out just to get out of here. Fact. But now I can't even get scouted because they shut down the sports. So I said, what can I do? So you know what I did? I have good connections with private donors that's in the Republican field, the independent field. I reached out to some people and said, I want to bring some kids from Bridgeport to the Pylon program up in Virginia. And the Pylon program is 7-on-7 that you got celebrities there, top-notch schools there to scout kids. NFL players got their own team. I raised $30,000 in private funds. I did it twice. 30 grand in private funds to bring 15 high school, 20 high school students from Bridgeport and the neighboring towns to go get looked at. To go get looked at. And the craziest thing, I remember we was all at dinner because I paid for everything.
That's what's up.
Due to help of my supporters. I remember I was at breakfast or lunch or something with the kids. And there was like, and somebody, like, when you got to introduce who made all this happen, the young men was looking at me like I was crazy because they didn't know that, and I was a little younger. Like, you know what I mean? They didn't know that a person like them could do that.
Yeah.
So I get it. But what I want people to also get, to let them know that if you hustle, you can get it. You can get it. You could bring. There's gonna be somebody in the next decade or less that's gonna do what I did, but triple folds for their time.
Yeah.
That's just how it is, man. You know what I mean?
When you interacting with these kids in the center and stuff like that, what is like something that you wish they can take away from all that you've been through? Like, because I know you be having one-on-ones with them, all of that. So I already know. I know without even seeing it. So what do you be like saying to them? Because you know, some of these kids, I be watching them. Some of them, it's like heaven here. Yeah. And when they go home or the hell breaks loose, you know, they be trying to fiend to come here. You feel me?
I tell them, fight. We gotta fight. We have to fight. Our problem is we hate on each other so much. We will never make it here as a community of African Americans because we always fight each other. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Too busy looking for the flaws.
Yes. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. But we need to push each other. We need to push each other. And while we fight each other, people don't understand there are other people sitting back getting what we supposed to get.
That too.
Like, you know what I mean?
And they're laughing at us.
Yes, they're laughing at us. But I want people to understand that everybody look at me as like I'm the only organization that get funding and things of that nature. I hear that stuff. At the end of the day, people don't understand, man. I worked hard. I'm telling people that it's possible. I worked hard and I went outside my comfort zone. I had to stop drinking. I had to stop smoking and really put my right foot forward so people could look at me and understand that I'm not playing. I'm a force to be reckoned with. But sometimes it's crazy because I get flack from my own people because they think a certain way. And then when I get around these millionaires, billionaires, they're looking at me a certain way. But the good thing is that I'm comfortable with who I am. You know what I mean? I'm comfortable. See, I believe that it's in us to want what somebody else got, especially if we're in the same field. But there's sometimes I see people, and I used to see people on my journey to get to where I'm at that got stuff faster than me, and I believe to myself that I deserve that more than they deserve it. But I had to train myself to appreciate others, especially people that look like me, in order to get where I need to be. So that spirit of jealousy, hate, whatever people want to call it, we all got that. But we have to train ourselves to understand that wherever that person that you're jealous of, you're hating on, we can get there.
No, that's a fact. I ain't gonna lie. At one point, when I first heard it about the money and everything, I was offended. I was cussing out all these nonprofits all around. Because I don't help and pulled up on everybody. Especially if you call me, I'm pulling up to show love to my community. And then you're right. I started to think about it, and I'm like, the fuck am I mad for? Ain't nobody standing up for the South End. Ain't nobody standing up for the West. Ain't nobody standing up for the Hollow. He did what he was supposed to do. Stand up for his side of town. Like you said, clean up his house so he could spread. So that's when I just told you off camera. I said, you know what? I'm throwing my hat in the ring. You know, I'm going to try to help the South End as much as I can and in the West and the Hollow.
I will be a support system to you. That's one thing about me. If people don't understand, I partner with a lot of people.
I've seen you. I've seen you with Jasper.
But a lot of people don't like to partner with me. It's because they feel like there's sometimes people will invite me, and that's why sometimes people don't really know how to take me somewhat. Yeah. Because sometimes people invite me, and I don't really like to go as much because when I go there, I get a lot of attention. Like people, like I don't want to like people feel like
take their attention
away because it happened. Like I partner with people and people like, oh shoot, Harry, you're doing this because I grind so hard that whenever you see me with a group of kids that don't gotta be my kids or my program, you're gonna think that. Yeah, and sometimes people that work hard are trying to move up can't take that. And I don't mean that. It's just that, you know, it's like sometimes you try what they say, you can't block God's glory. Like, you know what I mean? And sometimes I try to put a shade under the blessing because I don't want to offend anybody. But at the end of the day, you know, I can't keep trying to like
stroke their ego.
Your blessings. But I'm always open to partner, bro. You know how many people I partner with, show them how to do this, and then they go off and do their own thing, and it don't work for them.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean. Because at the end of the day, like you know, this is not a job for me. This was created from a higher power that fits right where I need to be. I can go anywhere in this side of town and connect with any kid. I don't care if that kid is beefing with my son.
That's a fact.
They see some type of purity in me.
No, that's
like you know what I mean. So you know, but I get it. And I hopefully by this interview, people can understand a little bit of me better.
No, fact.
You know what I mean?
I'm getting the clarity. I've been around you 30 years, but I disappeared, came back, so forth on. And sometimes you do have to sit down and ask a person who they are and you know, and see the genuineness in them to be able to understand. Because some of it, like I said at the beginning, I was feeling some, not towards you directly. It was more of the fact, like, I'm like, what the hell am I not doing what I'm supposed to do? And then I had to pause and say to myself, technically, you're doing for so many others that you didn't pause and do for you yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, now make this happen. But I want to just say, for the record, even on Gloves Off, I'm proud of you. Like I said, I was feeling some type of way pertaining to how the city projected it out there, meaning as, oh, we gave all this money to Harry Bell and did it. And I'm like, what? Excuse me? Excuse me? I don't see a side of town. I see Bridgeport. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, because they kept saying, oh, he's going to use the money for the North End. And sometimes people can put things in your head and in your heart. That's why I called you and said, you know what? I got to sit down with you.
But it is for the North End.
Yeah, I know the money is for the North End, but not just.
But the North End, not even, no, it's for the North End housing property.
Yes.
For this building where it's open to everyone. But you, at the end of the day, the dudes who's with the shits ain't coming over here from the greens. Or the kids with the shits over here ain't going to the greens. Like, you know what I mean? So this is for whoever feel comfortable to come over here. I got a working program that I think we was gonna do something with your moving company before. That I got kids I partner with, and I got kids from all different sides of town that work on Saturdays, like a contractor aid program. So, like, you know,
that's smart.
I literally blood, sweat, and tears to the youth in this city. And I don't care what side you come from. Like, at the end of the day, I actually literally got my start from the West End. From on Laurel Ave, Carriel School. With all of them kids over there. So all of them kids over there, they know me. I could go to the Greens, I go to the East End. I try to partner, and I do partnerships, but sometimes people don't like when they get undervalued. When someone light is a little brighter. And I get it. It's hard to be like, I'm a partner with Harry, but I'm putting everything up, but everybody still think it's Harry.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's hard. Like, you know what I mean?
I think a lot of that comes with, and I said this to a few nonprofits, and I don't care how they took it, but I said, the reason why I believe you receive blessings like that is because you deal with kids. I've been dealing with kids my whole life. ABCD, Lighthouse, Progressive Train. I love kids.
Yeah.
And I've always said that. I'm like, I feel he get blessed because he deal with the kids. He's trying to avoid them from going to jail, not waiting for them to go to jail, then try to get them out. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I got you.
You're trying to get them before. Whoa, you ain't got to go to jail. Let me show you something else.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I mean? And then, like you say, I was just talking to a young kid out there. He probably like 12, 13.
Yeah.
Then I see like 10-year-olds out there. And then I seen that it was about to be an altercation, how the little kids got up and separated it versus the adults before. So I see like, damn, I'm like, yo, I see the beauty. Because I remember once upon a time, like you said, this building only been here since 99. I remember once upon a time this building wasn't here. You know what I'm saying? I used to go to the church right there. And I used to walk into the terrace and go to see Ronald and everybody walking around. And our world was different. We didn't have as much community support activists out there like how you are. You know what I mean? Like literally, like you said, you'll be in the center, then you'll be driving down the street, then you'll be up in this school. So you're everywhere. It ain't like you're segregated and stuff like that. So that's a good thing. I remember, I don't know if you remember my grandmother, but Mary Bruce. Mary Bruce used to, when we was kids, she used to go around with a school bus and she used to go to every side of town and pick up kids and had them in the Sheen Center, all of that.
I remember that as a kid. Like, you know what I mean? Man. Mary Bruce. I was one of the kids that Mary Bruce used to pick up and bring to the South End. And it was so crazy. I remember Dawn Spearman tried to piggyback off of that, and she was doing the same thing. What? Because Mary Bruce is older, and she implemented that into her stuff back then. Like, you know what I mean? So, like I said, man, you know, I'm born and raised in the Terrace. So, and this is also my home base. So people. And I work right now. I work at Ribblecross School. You know what I mean? And that's
people misconstrue.
So people like, you know what I mean? A lot of my kids that I get is gonna be from this atmosphere. You know what I mean? But people don't understand. I'm not if you know, for like a year and a half, my program was on Main Street. Like, you know, I think I overcompensated my son due to what I wanted from a father, and I didn't want him having to deal with the struggles that I went through as a young boy, the daddy issues, and didn't realize he would have to never go through that because I'm not my father. Like, you know what I mean? He grew up with his mother and dad. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So
but do he
it was
feel
different.
some type of way towards you sometimes? Because, you know, when you're young and these kids talk and hang each other, crack jokes and all that, is it different? You know, when we was young, we were like, man, you ain't come from where we come from. You know, now he...
So I don't know if people know, my son is a street dude. My son is 20 years old. My son got caught with 2 guns. I had to advocate for him when he was young and all that stuff like that. So I'm no struggle. I'm no stranger to
the struggle.
To a son or a youth who got problems. Like, you know what I mean? Because I dealt with that firsthand. Like, you know what I mean? God, you know what I mean? I'm like there were certain nights I couldn't sleep because I didn't know if I was gonna get a call my son was shot or my son shot somebody. But the craziest thing is that, you know, I believe I was the best father I can be. But at the end of the day, we have to realize that a young man and a young lady, they come to an age where they think for their own. And hopefully they can still hear the whispers that we taught them. Like, my son went through a whole stage of me and him like bumping heads from 16 to 17, 18. And we still bump heads to this day, but I could say that he's trying. You know what I mean? I can say that he's trying because he got it in him, but he come from this. Just because you got it in you don't mean you're gonna automatically skate through like how I am today. Nah. Like, you know, some people no matter can't shake this. And my son is not exempt. because of who I am.
That's a fact.
And I used to hear, oh, he's out here doing this and his son doing that. At the end of the day, I didn't teach my son to do that. Or whatever they claim he was in the streets doing. But only thing I taught my son is how to be a man and how to be respectful. Other stuff, kids learn. Like, you know what I mean? I did it. So I had to let my son grow up on having he got put away as a preteen. He got put away. He went away. You know what I mean? I had to go to court with him weekly trying to fight gun charges. Like, you know what I mean? And that didn't stop me from completing my mission. I think that helped me be able to connect to youth even more because I didn't hide it.
True.
I didn't hide it. Some people will hide it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't hide that stuff because at the end of the day, I'm no different from you.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't give a damn if I went to the White House. I don't give a damn if I went anywhere. I still come home to a young son who struggles in these streets. That I have to help him and try to maneuver the best way a father can.
That's a fact. And I'm proud of you for that because a lot of fathers, it seems like nowadays the deadbeats is winning because I said that to a girl. I was like, dang, is the deadbeats winning? Y'all females still sleep with them. Y'all talk all the junk on social media, but y'all still be hanging with them. But I'm proud of you. I appreciate you. Is there any wisdom that you would love to give Connecticut as a whole, all the young generation? We want to speak to the young generation. We don't care for the adults. We love y'all, but we want to speak to the young generation. I want you to give them some food for thought.
It's not over. It's not over for you. It's not over for them. You know, no matter what they've been through, no matter what they're going through, it's always room for greatness. It's always room for success. At the end of the day, there was and people have to find their purpose, right? Because your purpose, once you find your purpose, it'll lead you into your greatness, your success. My coloring book led me to where I'm at today.
Okay.
So once you figure out your purpose and God's mission for you, I'm telling you, it'll go the way you need it to go. Just be patient, be obedient, and be nice. Kind. Remember I said be kind and nice? Like I'm telling you right now, I think the reason why I'm at where I'm at today, I think maybe 60%, because I didn't go to college and I went to college for a little bit, like, you know what I mean? And not because I was the sharpest knife in the drawer, because I could cut a little. And sometimes being successful and getting blessed from people who are successful financially and stuff like that is just going like this. How you doing?
Yes.
Understanding that I'm different from you, you're different from me, but we got something in common. Everybody want to uplift somebody.
I need it. Yes, that's a fact. That's a fact. I'm proud of you, man. So is one thing about this city that you want to see completely change? Because I said that I see nonprofits so segregated, and so many of them segregated, and when I'm around like 5 of them, they might bring you up, and then some of them talking, and then when you come around, and then so it's like, what the hell? So what would you like to see change in the city as a whole, like, or would you like to see brought here?
I would like for nonprofits like myself and nonprofits that caters to different sides of town, that's on different sides of town, to uplift each other a little more. Because at the end of the day, we got. We got these bigger organizations like, you know, coming through, taking a lot of this funding that should go to people like us that's in the trenches with them. You know what I mean? So, you know, I feel like we can have our disagreements, but when it's time to come to the table, we need to come to the table. We need to come to the table with a solution that could benefit us all. You know, and maybe it won't work, and it won't happen. But that's something I want to see, especially for everybody, but especially for people that I can look at and see myself.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
And that's female nonprofits and that's male nonprofits.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Coming together because again, we all are like this. You know what I mean? But you know, I don't think we that way because we want to be that way. I think pride and misconstrued information, you know what I mean? Things of that nature.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, once we get past that, and first of all, be comfortable with ourselves, we'll grow.
Yeah.
We'll grow. I got love for every organization that deals with youth out here. I don't have to rock with you. I don't have to talk to you, but I got love for you because there was a point where that I felt malice. But we all feel malice. But again, we have to train ourselves to appreciate others even when we feel like they got our spot.
We got to. We definitely got to. I appreciate you, brother. Love you, man.
Love.
Serious, man. I like that. Appreciate you. Yeah.